In this Supreme Court case, Chief Justice Roberts announced that the judgment of the court with respect to parts 1, 2, and 3, according to the Chief Justice, individual mandate is a valid exercise of Congress's power under the Commerce Clause and the Necessary and the Proper Clause. The government contends that the individual mandate is within Congress's power because the failure to purchase insurance has a substantial commerce. The Congress has the power to enact with the individual mandate because it is an important part of the comprehensive scheme of economic regulation. The Supreme Court upheld the individual mandate as a legitimate exercise of Congress's Article 1, which has the power to lay and collect taxes rather than its authority to regulate interstate commerce. The individual mandate portion of the Affordable Care Act requiring individuals to purchase a health insurance policy providing a minimum level of coverage is a tax and therefore does not violate the Constitution. The federal government contends that the individual mandate is within the power of Congress because failing to purchase insurance has a substantial and deleterious commerce by creating the cost-shifting problem. Does the individual mandate portion of the Affordable Care Act requiring individuals to purchase a health insurance policy providing a minimum level of coverage violate the Constitution? The judgment is affirmed in part and reversed in part. Chief Justice Roberts delivered the opinion of the court with respect to Part 2, concluding that the Anti-Injunction Act does not bar this suit. Chief Justice Roberts concluded in Part 3 that the individual mandate is not a valid exercise of Congress's power under the Commerce Clause, the Necessary Clause, and the Proper Clause. The constitutional violation is fully remedied by preceding the Secretary from applying to withdraw existing Medicaid funds for failure to comply with the requirements set out in the expansion. Chief Justice Roberts, with Justices Scalia, Kennedy, Thomas, Breyer, Alito, and Kagan, concluded that the Medicaid expansion provisions were unconstitutionally coercive as written. Congress does not have authority under the spending clause to threaten the states with complete loss of federal funding of Medicaid if the states refuse to comply with the expansion. Chief Justice Roberts, joined by Justices Ginsburg, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan, concluded that the remainder of the Medicaid expansion provision without the Constitution. Chief Justice Roberts, joined by Justices Ginsburg, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan, concluded that the remainder of the Medicaid expansion provision without the unconstitutional threat to completely withdraw Medicaid funding could stand as a valid exercise of Congress' power under the spending clause. Justices Scalia, Kennedy, Thomas, and Alito argued that the court does not have the power to remedy the unconstitutional expansion as written. Such power should be vested exclusively in Congress.